Hey guys, welcome back. So where we left off was with this nasty error. We don't want to see this. So what we want to do is in our controller write some validation rule and make sure the form is validated. We don't want to assume the users are going to input some good value. Instead, we all want to assume the users not like innocent until proven, but the opposite. They are always guilty. You have to be suspicious that they are going to be bad users. So to do that, I will zoom in. To do that, I'll use the request object here, and the request object has validate method where I can pass in the validation rules. This is where I'll use each of the forms fields with the validation rule like required. So this way I'm making both of them required. I can add other validation rules. For example, say the minimum character has to be 2 or 3 by using the type format here. Another option we have is replace this whole thing into another array where I can say this is required, and then the minimum is 3, the max is 250, and I can keep on adding. I can give regular expression, I can write regular expressions here, and other kind of rules or kind of rules. I can include a lot of rules once my forms start getting bigger. For now, this is quite easy and quite enough, and this is the simplest form of validation you can write in Laravel. Now I will resubmit this. It comes back to the form. So every time I click, it's going back to the same thing. What's happening is now Laravel is validating the form for us. We don't see anything there. In the user is not going to see anything in the form. That is because we haven't displayed the error message here. The way to do that is using the error variable or object that is in our session. You can access it from anywhere. Right now it's empty, but if I click save, it gets populated. This is the errors variable. It's an object that lives in the session. I can access it anywhere. I can access the title and display it here, specifically the description here. So this is really important. This is one power of Laravel. It makes it so easy. I can have here a div with a class. So there is this extension called image. So every time I want a class, I just say dot and write alert danger. So this is an image, a plugin that I will go on. Maybe if you're not familiar with it, just look it up. It makes me look like I'm a ninja programmer. It's just a plugin that just helps me do this. So I can say errors will be displayed now, and some these errors would be displayed like this. But I can for each these errors, that means I can iterate using for each errors all as error and get each of the errors. So now I'll display just the error instead of the errors. Make sure to end up for each. So now if I do the same thing, I get an error. Do you mean errors? Yes. Where did I say otherwise? Yes, here is a typo I made. I'll refresh and click save. Now I get better error message. They are in a nice danger box, and the title field is required, the disk field is required. If I type something like this and try to submit, it says the title must be at least 3 characters, which is great. It's looking good, but there are 2 problems. One, Now the title, the AI wrote, is lost. When you have a big field, this is going to frustrate users and you really don't want to do that. What you want to do is give a value, and the value would keep all the data coming from the form that is being rejected. That will be title for us. This is the one that is being rejected by Laravel, and I'll surround this with double quotes as this is blade. So now if I type AA, try to submit it, this is not lost. AA is still there, but it's telling me to make it 3 characters. Now I can go ahead, add more characters. Now title, the validation error for title is gone, and I can go on add description and go on submit. But the other problem I was talking about is the error message being here. When you have a big form, you don't want the user to scroll up and down, look where the error is and stuff like that. So instead, what you want to do is add this is invalid PHP class that would circle the this is invalid is bootstrap CSS class, and it will circle the text field like this with some red. So this is awesome, but we don't want this to happen all the time. We only want it when in the errors object, or here in the errors object, when we have if it has an error containing title key. That's the only time. For that, Laravel makes this easy. We can use blade here. So double curly braces. And then you can say $errors has title. So I'm saying if that object has title in it, title key, then please apply the is invalid class. If not, leave it as it was. So I'll just put empty quotation there. So I refresh. Now the red corner is the red box is gone. Try to save it. Now I get red box here, which is cool. But in addition to this, I want to display this title field is required underneath here. For that, there is again this bootstrap class called invalid feedback. And here is where I'll display using some strong text my errors first. This is again a helper function from Laravel that makes sure if I have multiple of titles indexed there, it makes sure that I get the first one. So don't be confused this, just refer to the documentation. So in the errors, the first of title, display it here. I will surround this. I want to display this only when there is an error, okay? I don't want to have this available every time. Well, if I refresh and click, this is looking perfect. But if I inspect here, that invalid feedback div is still here, and I don't want to have that there, even though it's invisible. So I can surround this with a add if errors has, which is exactly what I wrote here, title in div. So this will be displayed only when there is actually the error happening there. So I'll click save. Now this is displayed in a nice, there is red box, the title field is required. If I write something like this and try to save it, again the red box is there, but the message is changed to the title must be 3 character. Now it's looking perfect. This is what a good application should look like. So I'll get rid of this, and I'm sure you can replicate this to the description. Just add this here. and that'll be it. If you add what we wrote here to the description, the same thing for the class and for the feedback, you'll get the same thing what we have done for the title, you'll do for the description. And that way you can build a simple error message validation and communicate to your user the validation you have made, making it a nice form like this. And if this is very repetitive for you, what I will do most of the time is put this in the include folder here, add some kind of blade template here to move the error message and other message into a separate partial blade file. But I will not get into that. Hope this was helpful to you. If you understand validation and sending error message for the user, let me know in the comments. And if this was by any means helpful, please give me some signs. Thanks.